Get in here right now for this breakfast sandwich. Now. You still filming?
Yeah.
That's good. That's how impressed I am with my own breakfast sandwich. Get in here right now. This is awesome. The ultimate breakfast sandwich. Bacon, pork sausage, fluffy egg, pepper jelly, a little bit of Tabasco mayo, English muffin. You can't go wrong with this breakfast sandwich. A little intricate, but we're gonna get there. Let's make it. So for this breakfast sandwich, we have eggs, bacon, we got a little bit of our really fatty pork sausage, breakfast sausage, English muffin. We're gonna make some Tabasco mayo, got a piece of American cheese we're gonna throw on there. This is gonna be one of those breakfast sandwiches that you're gonna put some time into making this, but this is more of a meal prep breakfast sandwich. This is gonna be ultimate, it's gonna be so good, it's gonna be huge, it's gonna be delicious, but I'm making this so you can make a bunch of them. You can make a bunch of them, roll them up, put them on in the fridge, have one every single day for lunch, have one every single day for breakfast, but this is gonna be a process where you can make a bunch of these. So this is all the ingredients you need to make the one breakfast sandwich. So the eggs we're gonna make are gonna be in a half 200 pan. We're gonna bake them. You can be like in a Pyrex if you want, have a little plastic wrap foil on it, and they're gonna kind of make this like custardy, fluffy egg, and we're gonna cut them out for our sandwich. A little bit intricate, but if you want to make something that's going to be the ultimate, you got to be a little bit intricate. So let's get started because we got a lot to do. Now, this is for like meal prep. We're going to be cutting these out. So you want to do 12 eggs. So it's about 2 eggs per breakfast sandwich. This is a bad boy. This is a bad boy breakfast sandwich. This is for like, you know, bachelor party next day. This is for, you know, you're having a party and you want to make a bunch of these. People are going to thank you. People are going to love you. So eggs in, 12. And I'm gonna go in with 1 cup of goat cheese. You can easily use cottage cheese. I used to make this with cottage cheese. I made it with cream cheese, but I like goat cheese. I like the flavor of goat cheese. I like that tartness. So I'm gonna go 12 eggs, 1 cup of goat cheese, half a cup of heavy cream, 1 tablespoon cornstarch. And the reason we're adding the cornstarch is that's what's gonna kind of bind it all together and make it so it's like that fluffy, kind of just beautifully custardy egg that's gonna kind of hold it together. So the goat cheese is for flavor, cornstarch is gonna hold it all together. The heavy cream is to kind of bring everything together and give a little bit of more fat content to it. We're gonna add a little bit of salt. So I'm gonna do a pinch of salt. Maybe a pinch and a half, 'cause I like salt. Pinch and a half. And we're gonna blend this whole thing up and we're gonna bake it. So you wanna blend this for about 5 seconds, and the reason you want to do it just so it's incorporated only for 5 seconds is because you don't want too much air, because then it'll just fluff up like this in the pan and then it'll deflate. All the egg will deflate. You kind of want to make this like, it's kind of going to want to be tight and like custardy, almost like you see like when you cut into a piece of quiche. Five seconds, done. We have our eggs. You want to get yourself, you can use a Pyrex. You can use, honestly, you can use anything you want. It doesn't have to look like this. Just something where you can put down 2 pieces of parchment paper and we're gonna pan spray it because we don't want our eggs sticking. So we're gonna spray our parchment in our pan. Then we're gonna add our eggs to it. And I pour my eggs through a strainer because I'm a psychopath, and being a chef, I wanna make sure there's not too many air bubbles. So this kind of pops those air bubbles and it gives it that like velvety, beautiful look to the eggs. You don't have to do this at all, and I suggest if you're doing this for yourself at home, don't do this. This is just because I'm in the chef world of like making everything look perfect, so it kind of breaks up those bubbles for me a little bit. Next thing we're gonna do is get a bigger pan. You don't have to have a pan this big at all. You can use anything you want. I've used a medium Pyrex and a large Pyrex. So a medium glass Pyrex and then a larger glass Pyrex, or anything you want. If you're doing a little amount, you can just do this in the littlest amount, or don't do this at all. This sandwich is gonna be just as good if you don't do it like this, because it has all these awesome accoutrements in it. But this is like the ultimate. This is like, you're a home cook and you're like, hey, I wanna make the ultimate breakfast sandwich. I'm already good at cooking. I wanna make it a little better. Is when you do this, is I set it in my pan, my bigger pan. So I have some hot water already ready to go. You can have like a tea kettle full of water, and I'm gonna pour that in here and make a water bath. And the reason I'm making a water bath is so this doesn't like turn into like baked scrambled eggs. It's gonna give us that nice custardy, like clean look to our eggs when we cut them out. So by the way, you can skip this step too. You can just put this in the oven and bake it, and it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna taste delicious, but I kinda want that like custardy, creamy look. So that's why we're doing it in a water bath. So pour your hot water in. You wanna pour it just right to the line of your eggs. So if your eggs are right here, pour the water just to that line. So this is going into the oven nice and carefully, right into the oven. So let that bake. I do 325 for 25 minutes. Everybody's oven's differently. If you're, you want to just keep checking it through 300 for 25, 30 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, but just keep checking it. You can do like a toothpick and just make sure it's coming out nice and clean. That's when it's done. I know this is a lot, so you can just throw it in there and just bake it off, cool it down, and then we're gonna cut our circles out of it. You can do that too. It's gonna taste just as good. I just like to make it super fancy and have a good time with it. But while that's baking, we got like 25 minutes. Let's make the rest of our dish, which is gonna be Tabasco mayo. Now, Tabasco mayo is my kind of go-to for like a breakfast sandwich like this, because I want that mayo on my sandwich. I want that like tartness in the mayonnaise, but I want a little of that like vinegar from a Tabasco. Now it's gonna add a little bit of heat, but we're gonna get more heat from our pepper jelly. I'm doing about 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, and I'm gonna do a dash, a dash, a dash. 3 dashes. Just to kind of give it that little extra acidity and tartness and a tiny bit of that heat. Just a tiny bit, not too much, because we're just gonna spread a little bit on there. And that's done. Next, we're gonna do our toasted buns. We're gonna toast up our English muffins. Little butter. You could spread the butter on the English muffin and then toast them in here. I find it easier just to throw your butter in and set your English muffins on your butter. Toasting these cats up, making them nice. And then we're gonna cook our sausage in this exact same pan with this butter. So I already have some bacon that I crisped up ahead of time. I always keep some bacon already ready and crisp. You can just cook off a ton of bacon and keep it in your fridge, and then I just warm it through like this. We're only gonna use 2 strips of bacon for this. This is just 1 big strip cut in half, and this strip is for the chef. We call this the little Scooby. While you're cooking, you have to, you're cooking for everybody else. You have a little something for yourself. So I like to cook a little bacon for myself. Bacon's getting warm. I don't like the fact that it's not golden right there, so he's going back in. Look at that, beautiful. Okay, that is ready. Now let's go in with our pork sausage. Tiny bit of salt and pepper. Actually, let me show you a little trick to cook it a little faster. A little water. That's gonna help it cook, and it's still gonna be crispy and still gonna have that nice brown crust on it. We're just gonna help it out. Especially when on an induction burner, we have so much heat going on. It just kind of helps it just like get started a little bit. The water just is steaming it. And then when the water evaporates, then it's gonna caramelize in the bottom. Let's take our eggs out of our oven. I want the eggs to kind of cool down and just get nice and relaxed. And it takes about 35 minutes, but I kind of let it set overnight, and the next day I kind of punch them all out. So I have some already made, so we'll pull them out and let's start punching them out. So that is perfect. That is perfect. So I'm gonna cut these out. That is beautiful. Look at that. It's like that quiche, that beautiful, it's almost like custard-esque, just right in there. This is what we're looking for. We're gonna flip our guy over, and we're gonna put a little lid on him. I'm gonna throw this in with my pork, and add a little water, and we're gonna kind of steam it all. Well, that's getting nice and warm, steaming up. Let's build our beautiful sandwich. So let's find our base. Here's our base right here. Here's our bottom. Our Tabasco mayo. Generous amount of Tabasco mayo. Our egg is nice and warm. So our egg's coming out. Beautiful. Our sausage is almost ready. So we're gonna add our Fresno pepper jam. Now this stuff is so delicious. It's got some sweetness, it's got some heat, great jam, jelly texture. And if you want to learn how to make this, I have a whole other video on how to make this jam. So spread this on here. This is one of those jams you would put on everything. That little bit of heat, that sweetness, this is amazing. While our pork is cooking, we're gonna turn our heat off because it's done. We're going with our cheese right on it. And that's just American cheese. It's gonna melt super quick. We're gonna go egg, our delicious quiche-esque custardy egg. One for the chef bacon on our sausage and cheese. Look at that. That is what we're looking for. This is a breakfast sandwich. This is everything you want it to be. Oh my goodness. How happy does this make you to look at this? If that's not an ultimate breakfast sandwich, please let me know what is, because this is insane. The fluffiest custardy egg you can have, English muffin, bacon, pork sausage, American cheese, Tabasco mayo, and a Fresno pepper jam? You kidding me? There's no way this isn't gonna be awesome. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Wow. Look at that custard egg. Look at that. Beautiful. My God. So I've never made this before. I've made a lot of breakfast sandwiches in my time, but I've never made like that super custardy egg before. I made them with quiches, I've made it with whatever. I've never applied that custardy egg to a breakfast sandwich. So this is the first time I've ever made this, ever. And my God, am I impressed with myself. This is insane. Such creaminess from that egg, that crispiness of the bacon, that like breakfast sausage, like pork and salt, sweet flavor, that little bite of that chili from that like pepper jam kind of Fresno-y flavor, and that sweetness with that like vinegar of the Tabasco mayo. This is one of those things where I'm very impressed, and I gotta like find some way to like do like a business out of this and like have these all over the place, because this is something that everybody should try. Look at that juiciness. Let's give it a little squeeze. Let's give our friend a little help there. Look at that. So when I say try this at home, I know it's a lot. I know I give you a lot of work to do, but this is worth every second and every single bite. Please, please make this. You're gonna love it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and put a comment in the bottom. Tell me your favorite breakfast sandwich, or tell me if you've even tried this. And once again, seriously, thank you so much for watching. I actually really appreciate it when you guys watch and you guys leave comments and tell me your favorite things. So thanks so much.